So let me just start off by saying this is a huge geek out for me because I'm a big fan of Chew.
Oh, thank you.
This is the second comic I discovered from Image. The first one being Saga.
Okay.
And it really, it's what got me into checking out indie comics. So the first question I have to ask is, what's the favorite way you like to eat chicken?
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
Fried chicken wings.
All right. So what led you to have an Asian main character for Chew? Was it just that you could have a pun on the title, or?
That was the most practical one, but my wife is Asian, so in theory our child would be half Asian,
right.
and I, kind of wanted him to have a hero that wasn't just like a kung fu mystic or whatever Asians are in media.
Right.
And, that he could grow up and see, even though it's not a traditional hero, it's still kind of a hero. Yeah. Now, the boy came out blonde and blue-eyed, and there's not a lot of, he doesn't look, look like his mom too much. Yeah. But that was part of the reasoning behind it anyways.
Yeah. Well, I'm really grateful for that as well. I also have a half Asian son. He actually looks exactly like his mom. It's my daughters that look more like me, but one of the things that I notice is in a lot, Asians never get to be the main character, or if they are, they never get to have the love interest. And Chew does get together with Amelia.
Yeah.
And I think I'm really grateful for that. That he can have someone to look at that really kicks ass, but he's not doing kung fu or anything like you said.
Yeah. I mean, he is an Asian, but then he's also not defined by it.
Right.
He's also a normal dude, and we've tried to make the cast sort of as colorful as the real world is, without making a point of it. Like, oh, you're an Indian dude, you must be, into this, or that the whatever race they are is kind of incidental to their characters.
Right. Yeah, I feel like you kind of do a great job of giving him some amount of it. Like when they have the family get-togethers, there's a tinge of it, but it's someone who grew up in America. It's someone who's influenced by his past, but it's not 100% of what makes him him.
But he's still got the big Asian family. I mean, that's part of it, and and everyone's family is dysfunctional at their own level.
Exactly. Definitely true. So another question I have is, who came up with the idea for all the little Easter eggs in the background?
It's mostly Rob. Like they became more prevalent as the issues, like people liked them and they started coming back, and he'd slip them in just because he works really long hours and he's just like, is kind of bored, and it amuses him, and now it kind of became a thing. And I'll call out like, hey, here's a good in joke, or he always finds some like weird obscure TV show to put in the background, and sometimes I'll make a suggestion, but I'd say it's 80-90% him.
Oh, okay. As someone who still has a day job outside of this, a lot of the jokes that Rob puts in or that you guys work on together about the workplace and the posters and stuff, it really rings true to me and my brother as well.
Well, what's funny is a lot of times the book comes together, I get low-res pages, which I letter, and then the high-res pages don't come in until we're like racing to get it to the printer. So people will be like, oh, that Green Mile joke in the last issue was so funny. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. So you've also worked on Batman at least for a while.
Yep.
What's the biggest difference you see between a character that has to go on forever like Batman and Chew, which is going to end very, very soon?
Well, the easiest answer is you're playing with someone else's toys, so you have to respect sort of the fans and the characters and the legacy, and you have to know going in, the best you can hope for is a memorable run, but you're not going to be the guy who writes Dark Knight. That's something that comes along once in a generation, where you make, like, you're not going to make giant, profound changes to the characters, and even if you do, they'll eventually revert back. 99% of the time. So, that going in, that basically everything you do is kind of impermanent, but you want to give the illusion of these things being big. Where a book like Chew, that's yours, you're God. You kill people, you do whatever you want, and no one can tell you not to. And that's kind of the glory of a creator-owned book.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I don't want to give anything away just in case anyone hasn't come to Chew yet, but when the deaths that have happened, it really meant a lot, because I knew that unless it has to do with the mythos of the story, that person's not coming back.
Yeah.
You know, that person's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas,
But we've also tried to give everyone a good death too.
Yeah.
Everyone's death has meaning, or it comes back in some
Sure.
way, and it's not just throwaway deaths for shock's sakes, because we do want to invest, in the character, and so by the time there's a death, it pulls you in the gut in the way that, Wolverine's going to die this summer.
Right.
Okay, Wolverine's going to die, but are people really in tears?
Right.
And does anyone think
Right.
he's not coming back?
So one last question before I let you get to all the fans that want books signed and stuff like that and want to talk to you is the bosses in Chew are real jerks.
Yeah.
Does that come from like your background? Did you have really horrible bosses before, or?
Yes, and like the main one is Appleby, who hates Tony, and we've never explained it, and we never will. He's just a jerk who hates him, and yeah, I've had a few jerk bosses in my life, and I just think it's funny to pay them back.
Cool. And so thank you again for talking to me. Do you guys have anything coming up together?
Nope.
Oh, that's a real shame.
Yeah, we're
but-
talking. I mean, we will eventually, but
Okay.
we're just trying to stick to the landing, and I am at the end of a marathon, seeing the finish line, and I'm
Yeah.
not thinking about the next race.
Exactly. You need to go home and rest, basically. All right. Thanks again for talking.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks, John.